This is the number one too. Jack. Sit down. I was going to do my first movie on Batman vs. Superman and how Zack Snyder embarrassed me in front of my girlfriend. But instead of doing that, this guy had to open his big mouth.
And have a voice, and I'll tell you this, I'm a black man, and, Colin Kaepernick, he's not black, okay? He cannot understand what I face and what other young black men and black people face or people of color face on an every single basis.
Rodney Harrison. This guy really irks me. I wanted to speak about this because I like Colin Kaepernick. I'm a light-skinned black person. Now, he's biracial. Both of my parents are black. Both of my parents' families are from Northern Virginia, and if you know anything about history, and I'm not going to do the homework for you, you'll understand why a lot of fair-skinned black people come out of Northern Virginia, which was a slave state. Do the math. I'm not going to talk about the Colin Kaepernick situation, except for to say that I do support his position. I was going to say a whole lot more about it, but a lot has been said over the past few days. There's no need to rehash that. I think a lot of things, people have focused on the wrong things, and part of that is the fault of the execution of the protest, and that's my opinion on that topic. So I was going to make a video about that, and then this happened.
Hillary Clinton is a bigot who sees people of color only as votes.
And then this happened.
Immediately, and I mean first hour of the first document I will sign will say, get the bad ones out of this country, bring them back where they came from.
But I know, I got to follow up. You said on Hannah, you used the word softening. Even last night on Hannah, you talked about.
Well, I don't think it's a softening. I think it's.
But 11 million people are no longer going to be deported.
I've had people say it's a hardening, actually.
And then this happened.
We did discuss the wall. We didn't discuss payment of the wall. That'll be for a later date.
And then this happened.
They live with these people. They get mocked by these people. They can't do anything about these people, and they want to. They know who these people are. Day one, my first hour in office, those people are gone.
And then he said this.
Clinton's plan would trigger a constitutional crisis unlike almost anything we have ever seen before. In effect, she would be abolishing the lawmaking powers of Congress in order to write her own laws from the Oval Office. And you see what bad judgment she has. She has seriously bad judgment.
Now, anyone who's a Facebook friend of mine already knows that I don't hold the candidacy of Donald Trump in high regard, and this video is not about that. What it is about is that we've seen this before, and that's why I know how this is going to end. See, Donald Trump, people like to tease him or talk about his business failures, his business, or some of them have been successes. But what he is an opportunist, and I'm not going to fault him for that. He's done some things that are very questionable. Some of them, I would say, are downright bad. But one thing he does, he sees opportunity, he goes after it. He said, wow. Now, see, he grew up in development, in property development. His dad left him this property, and pretty much what they did is they developed properties for people to lease for commercial reasons or to lease or buy residentially. What he saw were opportunities in, well, wow, if I buy this land and put holes in it, I can charge memberships so people will play golf. Well, then I'll open these golf clubs. Hey, people will come to these big buildings where I have slot machines and table games and give me all their money and gamble and think they're going to win, but they'll give me their money. I'll do that. People are buying bottled water. I'll do that. People are buying mail-order steaks, mail-order meat. I'll do that. People are watching reality TV. Well, I'll put a show together. Let me do that. People are actually paying unknown universities for supposed degrees online, I'll open up the university of my own. He's done that. Now, he'll jump into this stuff without doing research. Sometimes he'll jump into this stuff straight up fraudulently. So I'm not going to support that, but he's an opportunist. He calls himself a winner, and there are different definitions of winning. One of them is the athletic definition of winning, or some people's athletic definition of winning. We used to say this in baseball, that if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And I think Donald Trump subscribes to that. Another definition of winning is one that I subscribe to, which is, if you're given a bunch of lemons, make lemonade. Well, see, I think this is what he's trying to do right now. See, because right now he's down in the polls. So what was all this about? What were all those statements about that I played? What was this trip down to Mexico about? And what was this speech about in Arizona? Well, this is what I think. I think that Donald Trump is doing what you do in basketball if you're down in the fourth quarter by 25. You can do one of two things. One thing you can do is you can slow the ball down, slow the game down, and try to win within a respectable margin rather than getting blown out by 40. That's one way to do it. That's if you say, oh, I'm going to lose. That's kind of a loser's mentality in my thoughts. And Donald Trump's, I believe, too. Or you can do this. You can foul your opponent until you get into the penalty situation, put them on the foul line for the rest of the game, hoping they miss their foul shots, and when you get the ball, you go down the court and shoot 3-pointers. And that's what he's doing right now. He's going to put Hillary Clinton on the foul line because he's going to just throw foul her all the time. He's going to levy all kinds of accusations, some false, some legitimate. It doesn't matter. Or put her on the foul line. We're going to see if she can answer them and make her foul shots. Meanwhile, he's going to shoot these 3-point shots and see if they land. And that's what all this rhetoric, all this pro-white male stuff is coming from. Why is he doing this? Is he a racist? Well, it is racist rhetoric. I don't know if he's a racist or not, but it's what won him the primary, and that's what he's going to try to do now. Where did I think this came from? The last 2 weeks, he was waffling. He got Kellyanne Conroy, got some other people. And so in his entourage on his campaign, and he took all kinds of advice because he didn't know whether he wanted to get moderate or or stay right or be moderate. Well, that wasn't working out so well, and I think, I wasn't there, but I think what happened when he went down to Mexico is that he's met with that president, and he thought one or two things. One, I'm going to either be able to run roughshod over this guy like I did to Jeb Bush and to Chris Christie and all those guys on the stage at the Republican debates, or I'm not going to be able to do it, and I might have to go back to what I know. Now, let me tell you one thing I know about Mexico. And I've never been a president, but one thing I know about the presidency of being a leader or being the leader or whatever the name of that leader is of a particular country. There are some countries where you can't be a punk. You can't be a punk in Russia, can't be a punk in Syria, can't be a punk in Israel, can't be a punk in Colombia. You know, there's several places can't be a punk in India. There's certain countries where it's just that it's because of the climate in the country, you can't be a weak leader. You might be perceived as a weak leader from people from the outside. You might be portrayed as a weak leader through propaganda, but just look at the country and you know that they're not going to allow themselves to be run by somebody who's weak, or they're going to be short-lived, usually literally. So I know the Mexican president, even though I don't know the Mexican president, ain't no punk, because they're putting heads on the side of the road in Mexico in duffel bags. You can't be a punk in Mexico. So Donald Trump went in there and he found out for himself. He went in there and the guy said, first thing, Mr. Trump, we're not paying for your wall. And at that moment, Donald Trump knew he was in the fourth quarter down by 25, and he was going to start having to foul Hillary Clinton and shoot 3-pointers. He wasn't going to be able to slow the game down or hope he comes back because he has some great offense he's going to run. That's not going to work. And that's what he learned. And that's what he's doing right now. Like any good businessman, I think Donald Trump wants to keep his brand out there. I think he wants to get always stay in the public awareness. And I think that's what this presidential campaign is about. I'm not going to say he didn't want to be president or he doesn't want to be president, but I don't think he has a burning desire to be president. I think his main goal is to stay in top of everyone's mind to be Donald Trump. So when he declared, and he came out and he talked about what he felt, and he felt that immigration was the big issue. He got a lot of traction with that birther stuff, so he went out there and he started saying things about Mexicans. And much like somebody else I know, got a lot of traction with "What's up, Doc?" So he did the same, and that line carried him all the way through to the convention, and he won the nomination. So what I think his goal is now is, or his contingency plan, because like I said, he might want to be president of the United States, and I'm not saying that's not his final goal, but what I think his contingency plan is that he sees that news and politics have merged together, and it's very lucrative. And so what he's decided, I believe, is that if he loses to Hillary Clinton, he's losing with this rhetoric that's going to put Fox News out of business. So CNN is going to find that its new competition is TNN, and that's the Trump News Network. And it's going to be full of people like Bannon, Hannity, Ann Coulter, and Roger Ailes is going to be in the background, who just got kicked off of Fox News because Fox News is now going to become relatively irrelevant because they can't get a candidate that even gets past the primary or can even get 25% of the vote. And because these news organizations have become propaganda machines, Donald Trump is going to take advantage of this. He's going to take full advantage of this. And that's what his plan is going, that's his contingency plan. So we'll come back and meet in November. He'll probably launch this January 1st in 2017, and I'll tell you I told you so. Anyway, that's it. I'd like to hear what you think about it. Please put your comments down below. Let's keep it civil. And what I would really like is for you to subscribe, because I plan on making more of these videos if you like this one. If you don't like it, if you have some criticism for me, if there's something else you'd like me to talk about or you'd like us to talk about, please let me know and I'll see what we can do. This is my first one. It's very rough. So I will have some different things more that I can show you later on. But thank you for listening. Thank you for staying all the way to the end. And I'll be seeing you soon. Thanks.
When I was asked on one of the big networks about NATO, they said, what do you think of NATO? Now, it's not like it was my primary subject, in all fairness. I've only been doing this for 12 months. Now it's actually almost 14 months. Hard to believe, right? But NATO. So I said, I knew enough. And sometimes knowing a little is better than knowing too much.
Oh, sweet Jesus.